Alright, I'm installing the software update 2024 33.15 with FSD supervised 12.5.5.2. Looking through here, it doesn't appear as though there are any changes from the previous edition, and that is also what other YouTubers have said. As soon as this gets done installing, I'm going to go on a little test drive and post that to YouTube. Apparently, we can now put the referrals on there, so I will put the link down below. Please like and subscribe, and the video will continue in just a moment. Alright, software update is at 98% and not going very quickly. That is most likely my Wi-Fi, so not an issue with the car. I do want to take a moment and clarify. You know, I like a lot of things about the Cybertruck. When I, in the previous video, was nagging on a couple things, it's really just because I have very high expectations of Tesla. And I'm disappointed in those few build quality issues that I mentioned before. Now that they're past the Foundation series, it is my hope that they are fixed. I think Tesla has been fairly responsive in the past on making sure that any issues like the ones that I addressed in the previous video, like the visor, that mud flap issue, the seat, they are very minor issues, and Tesla in the past has been fairly responsive on getting them fixed and addressed in subsequent models. The Model 3 that I have in the garage here is pretty well built, and I haven't heard a lot of build quality issues on anything else, so I'm thinking it's limited to the Foundation series and early production issues. So if you are concerned about getting a Tesla, not to worry. Those issues are very, very likely being fixed already, if they haven't already been, and they are covered under warranty. So if there is an issue, congratulations, it won't be an issue once you take it to the dealership and get it resolved. So, it says we're at 100%, although this is the second time the software said it was at 100% for the download and update. I'm going to stop the video here and continue when I know that it's actually been fully installed and ready to go. Alright, the update is finished installing. It is 2024.33.15. with FSD 12.5.5.2. Nothing appears to be new. This is all the same phrasing that it was before. Full self-driving supervised. Other users have already commented on all this, and this is the Vision Auto Park, which we don't need to go into, so we'll stop scrolling down here. Time for a test drive. Here we go, guys. All right, we are in the Cybertruck. We're going to go for a drive, 10:47 in the morning. And we are rolling. Don't want to do that again, where I start driving and doing the test and actually don't have the camera running. It's kind of embarrassing to get done. Let's just adjust this here. All right, I think you can see the steering wheel. You can see if my hand's on it. I think... yeah, alright, so we're going to test the full self-driving. As I showed you on the update screen, it doesn't appear as though anything's changed in the code. Settings-wise, I know other YouTubers have already gone through it, but let's check it again. For settings, nothing has changed in that screen. No changes there. No changes. Wouldn't really expect anything there. This is an autopilot update anyway, so alright, we've got all of our settings there. Okay, locks, yeah, lights, display, yeah, trips, great, navigation, schedule. Okay, so nothing new in the settings. Full self-driving supervised. Let's give it a go. And we're gonna turn that down. Don't want to get any copyright violations here. So, here we go. Be attentive, keep your hands on the wheel, and be prepared to take over at any time. Adjust my phone mount. Alright, so far we're sticking to the speed limit here, a little bit less. Neighborhood is 25 miles per hour. We're at 20, 21. It's just going to drive whatever it thinks is safe. Kind of going around a blind turn here. And it seems like it was hugging the center a little bit too much. I don't know if I like that. It's not that the truck was doing anything wrong right there, or the autopilot was doing anything wrong. It's more that if I was more towards the center of the road, I know people come down this neighborhood at higher speeds than they should, and guess where they drive? The center of the road. It seems like an accident waiting to happen to me, but that's not the truck. That's just, other people's driving combined with where it wanted me to be. Okay, so we're just going to take a right turn, apparently. I didn't actually give it any navigation directions, as you can see. We're just kind of going for a ride here. Yes, my eyes are on the road. Okay, so all I was doing was looking left just now to make sure there were no oncoming cars, and apparently, with sunglasses on, apparently it just wanted to tell me to pay attention. Well, I mean, I kind of thought that's what I was doing by making sure there were no oncoming cars. I know that the cameras on this truck are supposed to find that out for me. I'm kind of like using the Mark 1 eyeball. So I don't know exactly where it's going to take me, but I'm going to steer over to the right here because I want to test how it handles on roundabouts. I'm going to try to make it take a right turn at this intersection. It looks like it's going to. That's nice. Roundabout is a couple miles up the road, and this is what doesn't make a lot of sense to me. On the freeway the other day, I was having an issue where I could not get the speed limit to be reached. The speed that the car wanted to drive right here was constantly below the posted speed limit by a good amount. I don't know why that was. The difference between now and then is that was the freeway, and the speed limit was 80, down to 70 at some points along the way. But even though I had the speed limit set, it really did not want to match it. It was constantly going like 69, 71, 71 miles per hour when it should be going 80. 69 miles per hour when it should be going 75, so on and so forth. And it wasn't an offset issue. For some reason, it just didn't want to do it. Anyway. I digress. That was then. This is now. We're gonna see how it handles. I think this road, if I go down it, has a roundabout. I think there's one on the next exchange as well, but alright. Okay, so I did press the accelerator just now a little bit. I think somewhere that needs to be improved so far is that when the truck slows down, or when it comes to an intersection and it comes to a stop or near a stop, it always likes to make corrections at at kind of odd rates. So at intersections, when it comes to a stop and it's waiting on the light to turn, it will almost kind of like slam on the accelerator a little bit to get going. Not like you're, flooring it or anything, but it's definitely a harder acceleration than it needs to be. It's not gradual. It's not very well. How do I phrase it? There's no finesse to it. It's not like you're easing onto the accelerator for a gentle acceleration. It's just kind of like you're tapping it real quick to get up to speed without flooring it. So that's a little awkward. Now that correction, or not correction, that turn that it just did, when it was completing the right-hand turn, it was doing it very slowly, and then it didn't want to get back up to speed right away. It just kind of wanted to hang out there, even though it was completing the turn. So it didn't feel very natural, which is why I put the accelerator on. Now it's telling me I'm not paying attention again. I am looking at the road, so that is something that needs to get fixed in another update. I do know if I recline back a little bit, at least as far as I've been told, if you recline back a little bit and are wearing polarized sunglasses, it will do this less. Of course, it's not a very natural position to be seated, especially if you want to maintain control of the vehicle in a hurry. I mean, this is kind of like a 45-degree angle that I have the chair at, so I'm practically laying down. It wouldn't be very comfortable if I had a passenger in here in the back seat. Okay. So I have this intersection and then I think one or two more before I get to the roundabout. So I've done the neighborhood test. I've done a little bit of streets, regular city driving. I've done a couple intersections. There was no mention about an update to the parking, so I won't repeat that. Unless I change my mind. I always reserve the right to do that. But, okay, road closed ahead, so that isn't so good. But we're at the roundabout anyway, so where is it going to go? Now, remember in the old Teslas with lane stabilization. Now, well, that's not good. Alright, I'm going to disengage autopilot here because I did not want it to do that, and I might actually have to just give it a destination. So, where can we go? I'm going to navigate it back the way that we came here. Oh, you know what? I should have done something a little different. Let's go. I know what I want to do now. I just came up with a better idea to test this. Okay. So one thing that I've noticed is that the autopilot doesn't really do like a whatchamacallit, U-turns. Here I am. Actually, end trip, we're going to go to CUNA High School, I think. If I put CUNA High School in, that will get me where I want to go on this roundabout. That's not actually where I'm going. I literally am just going for a test drive here to demonstrate this autopilot update. All right.
In 500 feet, enter the roundabout.
But what I'm going to do, we're going to take the first, second, third exit
now
on the
enter
roundabout.
The roundabout and take the third exit.
And this is just to show that it's capable of ignoring other lanes here. Now, I don't know, that was a little weird. It kind of didn't seem to take that very smooth. But it did make it. Alright, now I'm going to take it out of autopilot here. And just for the hell of it, I'm going to wait until these cars turn. I'm going to do a U-turn here. And we're going to do that again. But this time, because this particular roundabout has...
In 500 feet, enter the roundabout.
Oh, actually, you know what?
The fourth exit.
I'm going to do? I want to be in this lane.
Now enter the roundabout and take the
That's
fourth
what I wanted to do. So now we're going to just do a complete U-turn using the roundabout. Because I can. So we're going to go... Okay, we're still in the right lane. And see, this is where it's not quite ready, apparently. We are now in the left lane. Somewhere along that, it decided to switch. And it shouldn't really have. And there were no cars. Technically, it's like a double dash line, but that was a little awkward. If you saw the steering wheel, it kind of like let go a little bit before correcting. It wasn't very smooth. So that's a little bit of an issue. But now we're zooming out on the map, and I'm going to end the trip, I guess, because that's all I actually wanted to test was that right there. Mainly I just wanted to see how smooth traffic was going to be and how a roundabout was handled with the current FSD. Why a roundabout? Because those are a little bit tricky for full self-driving. The old Teslas, they wouldn't do them well at all. They would get confused. It would tell you to take over. Just didn't know what to do. And honestly, even people seem to not be able to figure that out for the most part. Personally, I think they're easy. They're not really all that complicated, but no one ever seems to understand that you don't have to stop, that it just means yield when it says yield. You know, that little triangular sign, it's not very confusing. And I'm not going to make it with those cars coming on, so we're going to insert this again. Alright. And I just took back over because I don't need to be driven around all the time. Alright, so 40. There's a school zone. Let's give it a shot. It says there's a school zone ahead. I was going to end the video here, but now I'm kind of curious to see if it's got anything in there that's going to tell it to slow down. Of course, the flashing light's not on, so it still is 40. But there's no mention on the screen that there is a school session going on or that there's a school zone or anything. So, toss up yet to be determined. Alright. With that said, I am going to leave you here. Peace out, guys. It's been good doing these demos here. I do hope that you like and subscribe. If you want to know anything about the Cybertruck, how it works, any of the issues that I've experienced with it, any just general questions or things that you want to see, let me know, and I will try to make a video if I can. I moved the camera a little bit. We're now right by the steering wheel and the control screen here, but I happened to come across a school zone, and And so I'm going to do a little follow-up video, even though I already said I was ending this video. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of splicing and make it
Now
work,
turn
but
left onto South Locust Grove
let's
Road.
go through this here. Now, this is a school zone that I'm about to go through. And nope.
Now turn left
Okay.
onto East Puffin Street.
I guess we're going to do a U-turn up here. And we're going to make sure we're still at the
Now
speed
turn
limit
right
here.
onto East Mastiff Street.
I am driving right
In
now.
500
I am
feet, turn left.
steering and everything, but I'm going to do a U-turn here because, well,
Now turn left.
I actually did set a destination, and it's not going to let me navigate there without taking manual control. I don't know what I'm saying right now. Okay, it will navigate me there, but it's going to try to take the shortest route, whereas I wanted to make it obvious that I'm approaching a school zone. Okay, so it's at 35 miles per hour, 37, it's accelerating, and see, right now the Tesla was approaching a school zone at about 40 miles per hour, almost, and the zone is obviously 20 miles per hour. So, bad Tesla. Alright, that's all I was going to show you. Apparently it doesn't take school zones into consideration just yet, so hopefully in a future update that will be improved. Alright, we are back.
In 500 feet, turn
We're
right
going to
onto South
continue our
5 Mile
test
Road.
of the FSD. Let's see, what version are we on now again? It's
Now turn right onto South 5 Mile Road.
12.5.5.2. You already know that from the title of the video, but alright, so what's it doing here? We are at intersection. There were cars coming. And this is full self-driving. I don't have my mount on the back windshield right now. I was a little bit too lazy to move it for this part of the video. I'm not really making anything from these videos. I just am trying to get the info out and make people aware. I suppose there has been an update from this morning when I started recording. I took the truck in to the dealership, the service center, rescheduled some maintenance. I've got a list of 8 things at present, ranging from the seat, which has a little bit of warping. Now the issue with that, they're telling me that it's possibly considered normal wear and tear. I weigh 155 pounds on a very, very heavy day. Probably a 153 normally, and hopefully less than that. But there's no reason why a 3-month-old truck should have a warped seat. I mean, it really does look like someone weighed 500 pounds and jumped up and down on it like a trampoline. So there's that. We'll see whether or not that gets covered under warranty or not. I have the visor, which the mirror fell out. Whatever adhesive they used wasn't up to par. So that one sounds like it will be covered under warranty, no problem. The right rear mud flap snapping loose. I was told that that one might be an item that I have to pay for in addition to the seat. I relayed to them that when it snapped off before, the service center in Ohio took care of it under warranty. I don't see why this one should be any different. It's not like it ran into anything or was kicked off. It cracked loose for literally no reason. So that's one, or another rather. That's up to 3. What else did I have? I have the right, or actually the left rear quarter panel. That's a maintenance item that apparently wasn't installed perfectly. It's not something that I actually noticed myself. It was something that the service center tech at the other Tesla dealership, they noticed it. I'm just going to go with their eyes. If they say that it's not installed correctly, who am I to say any different? Cosmetically, to me, I didn't notice anything. I think in the previous video I pointed out the gap was a little bit large. That was according to the technician at the Tesla dealership. He was the one who said that, so I was just parroting what he said. I guess if you look at it from one specific angle, maybe it's a little bit warped or something, possibly. What are the other? I mean, that was only 4. There was a popping sound coming from the rear, possibly battery area. I did manage to capture that on a video. Very faint on the video. It's louder in real life, but I did catch it. That's another issue. What else? I thought there were more. Oh, another one is just a simple cosmetic thing. Whatever cellophane or plastic that they wrap the windshield in. There's a couple specks on the roof that were never 100% removed, so I'm having them do that. So that's, I think, 5, right? I don't really even know what the other issues are. Not off the top of my head. I know there was a radio issue. That was number 6, but I fixed that by resetting the car, restarting it. And I'm going a strange route today. Were there any other issues? I think that really was it. And they're all very minor. I can't say that enough. But just things to be an annoyance, not anything that actually affects how the truck operates. Now, at some point, I was hoping that the autopilot was going to do a blind left turn, and I know that won't be for a while. But we're going to see how it handles a recommended 20 mile per hour, navigation
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto Columbia Road.
All right. No problem. We're at 30. Recommended speed 20, but we're doing just fine. Oof.
Now turn right onto Columbia Road.
And the sun is coming down, so I actually can barely even see. Makes autopilot very helpful right now, actually. Of course, if anything were to happen, I'd be blamed for it, and it is what it is, but other issues. The seat, the visor, the mud flap, the quarter panel, the cellophane. Maybe it just feels like 8. I think on the service list, what was actually happening is things were duplicated, just because of the number of reschedules that they had to do from parts not showing up when they were expected to be there. So So here we're going to come up with a left turn.
Now turn left onto South Locust Grove Road.
So you know that braking was not very smooth right there. It was almost like a ratchet action. You know, it was almost like when you have the anti-lock brakes that are snapping, you know, catch and release, next version of autopilot. What's strange to me is the braking action and the steering on the previous version.
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto East Hubbard Road.
Mainly the steering around turns, sharp turns, like at intersections such as the one we're coming up to now. It seemed better on the previous edition of autopilot. While it's inside a lane,
right onto East Hubbard Road.
It doesn't seem to be any different. It seems smooth, stable, not noticing anything, but... And that time it wasn't so bad with the braking. It was a little bit smoother, a little bit more abrupt than, you know, I can do on my own. I guess I'm more of a chill driver than the autopilot. Left-hand turn in about 2.5 miles. After this next left-hand turn, I'm going to just stop the camera because there really aren't any more unique navigational challenges on this particular trip. By the way, if I do catch that popping sound, I will point that out. It doesn't happen a lot. It doesn't happen often. It's usually it stops, but I did catch the last one while I was driving. Look, code enforcement. Now, I do want to get this video posted tonight or tomorrow morning because I'd like to be one of the first to get this thing reviewed. I would like to be one of the first people to get this particular update reviewed. But I have a feeling like I'm already beat to the punch. Some people that are on here with Cybertrucks, they are a lot faster and I guess have a lot less actually going on than I do. They're probably just better at putting the video together. I don't do this a lot, so... I also try not to edit my videos that heavily. You know, it sounds like I'm kind of rambling, but you know exactly what's on my mind. I don't have the best written scripts because everything's basically impromptu on these videos. So, reason for that, by the way, is because I don't want to make it seem like I'm deceptively editing anything. I know I'm not the most eloquent speaker or orator out there, but I'd rather have an unedited version that's full of rambling so that you actually know what's going on with the truck as opposed to an edited video where, you know, you could say that I was manipulating it one way or another. Very, very occasionally I will edit out, you know, ums and buts. However, I leave a lot of them in just because it's a lot of time that's required to go through and stop the video at exactly, you know, whatever time mark, and then separate the video and then mute that particular part out. It's not worth my time and energy. I'd rather just throw out the video so that you have the info. Okay, I don't know if you just heard that, but there was kind of a thud sound, or almost like a whoosh. It sounded almost like a snowball was thrown at the back of the car and then splattered all over the windshield. It was that kind of sound. Somewhere before the 19 minutes and probably 25-second mark. Now, right here, I had a problem with this earlier today. That is a turn lane. I know I can see it. I know the cameras can see it because I'm looking at the cameras, you know, on the screen, on the road ahead, you know, in the like 3D rendering here. So I don't know why they haven't fixed that particular glitch, but it really shouldn't be stuck in a turn-only lane. I know there's no other cars in front or behind me, but it really shouldn't be doing that. So the only reason why it started turning is because I turned the turn signal on.
Turn left onto North 10 Mile Road.
Otherwise, it would have just gone straight and then kind of merged over after the fact, which again, it should not be doing that. Now I know Tesla and Elon Musk, you know, Daddy Elon, I know he wants to get the robo-taxi, both, you know, the car and the van version, bus version, whatever the heck that weird looking Volkswagen reminiscent thing is. I know he wants that by 2027 with fully unsupervised autopilot. The pictures that I've seen, or the renderings that I've seen of the inside of that robo-taxi, it looks like it doesn't even have a steering wheel. It appears as though they moved the center console directly in front of you as the driver, operator, passenger combo of the three. I don't see that as being realistic by having it on the road by 2027 without some major updates. And maybe they're in the works. Maybe they will be ready by then. You know, I'm on the fence whether or not I want to buy one. With a list price right now of $27,000, which, if history is any teacher here, by the time that thing's available with the Foundation series of the Robotaxi, it'll probably be, what, 27, and it'll probably be about, what, 75,000? In reality. Just because that is Tesla's pattern here. I hope not, but, you know. 27,000 though, that's tempting, especially if it's something that you can have operate like an Uber, Lyft, you know, kind of service. Have it out making money for you. Granted, if that's the case, I imagine I will not be the only person doing that.
In 1,000
I'm going to have to look into that and see what the plan is, but I want to know exactly what that's going to be. Alright, I'm going to leave the video here, guys. Have a good one, and until next time, peace out.